J. Cole just picked up a stick and violated Kendrick Lamar's entire discography riding out for Drake. Now, less than 12 hours ago, J. Cole went at Kendrick on the song 7 Minute Drill and went at his entire discography from Pimp A Butterfly, Damn, Miss Around the Big Steppers, which many hip-hop fans thought was a weak album as we waited 5 years for. And today, we're going to talk about this whole lyric breakdown from the song 7 Minute Drill. Now let's get into it. On the opening verse of the chorus, Cole said, "Light work like it's PWC." So PWC, which stands for Public Works Commissions, is a light and energy utility company in Fayetteville, where J. Cole is from, responsible for light, energy, and a bunch of other stuff. What Cole is saying is, you're light work, you're easy, I could handle you on any day of the week, pause, no diddy. But the fact that we're always neck and neck, I've always shown you love and respect. But the fact that you're taking my humility for weakness and you're saying, mother F the big three, it's just big me, after I gave you respect and I was being humble, you know what? I'm a murder you. Just like what Kendrick said in 2013 on the song Control, where he went at Meek Mill, Drake, A$AP Rocky, Cole. Cole was keeping it cool, but he said, no, you want to come at me? All right, let's do it then. All right, so moving on. It's a cold world. Keep the heat under your seat. I got a phone call. They say that somebody dissing. You want some attention? It comes with extensions. This verse was pretty straightforward. And actually seems like a double entendre because the first verse he said, it's a cold world, which kind of sounds like it's a cold world, like cold, it's a cold world. There says it's a cold world. And then he said, I got a phone call saying that somebody was dissing. And I actually believe this too because J. Cole, now someone who's on social media, we see him riding around New York City. Because he's not in his phone, man. He's in his own world. He doesn't care about what's going on in the world, what people are saying. So I could actually see Drake calling him like, yo, K-Dot is dissing, like, we got a responder. You take this one, I'm gonna get the second one. And Kendrick has always kind of been the same way where he's not really in the limelight. And the only reason why Kendrick Lamar is getting this much attention is because he's dissing Cole, is because he's dissing Drake. Respectfully, nobody's talking about Kendrick that much unless he's dropping music. And sure, you can say that's a good thing, that's a bad thing, but nobody really cared about Kendrick until maybe 2022 after he dropped that last album, Mr. Around the Big Steppers. And many people, not just me included because obviously this is me talking, felt that it was kind of a letdown because he dropped Damn in 2017, Mr. Around the Big Steppers in 2022. We waited so long for that album, and I'm not going to say it was mid, but it just wasn't what it was hyped up to be, or it wasn't what you felt a 5-year wait would be and what you would receive in a body of work. My dog likes say the word, he on bullshit, he itching. Done putting so much work in these streets, he got pension. I told him chill out, how it look having henchmen. If shots get to popping, I'm the one to do the clenching. Kendrick Lamar dissed J. Cole. And J. Cole said, you know, even when it comes to the Drake situation too, we've seen on social media, OVO Chubbs, Baka Not Nice, and basically the OVO man from the 6th year are sending shots at Kendrick because when Kendrick Lamar dissed Cole and dissed Drake on a song like that, what we heard in these hip-hop communities, online streets, is that Kendrick Lamar actually had a real diss for Drake, and this was the bait. And this made so much sense to me because Kendrick Lamar dissed Drake and Kendrick Lamar dissed Drake and Cole out of nowhere. Like, out of nowhere. So the fact that he dissed them, it's almost like he had, like, the real sauce. He just gave them the appetizer before he gave them the meal. Like, he had the real stuff in, but he wanted them to respond so it could be actually respected as, like, a real rap beef. Honestly, I don't understand why Kendrick doesn't even like Drake or Cole. And my assumption would be because he probably feels like he's better than them. Like he said in the song Like That, he said, mother F the big three, it's just big me. He thinks that he's bigger than the program. He thinks that he's bigger than Drake. Like, you're not. Like, you're just not. The first bar in verse 1 says, I came up in the Ville, so I'm good when it's tension. Now, this beef has caused much tension within hip-hop, and a lot of fans like it because they're saying hip-hop is getting back to its competitive spirit, which I will agree with. There's never really been any beef or any real static other than the Lil Durks and the Youngboy, maybe Meek Mill and Drake in 2015, but that was never going to get deadly. Maybe the Durk, maybe the YB. But there's never been like real actual rap beef, which is lyrical, that actually rappers going back at each other. It's just been people threatening each other on IG Live, saying, I'm going to do this, wait till you come to my city, you got to check in, you got to do this. And it's like, you guys are 30 years old. Like, are you serious? Like what's going on? This lyrically. And people are giving a lot of flack to Drake because Drake is moving like an IG baddie. He's posting up on the gram. He's not this and he's not doing that. In all honesty, I didn't even think that Kendrick diss track was even that hot and even warranted a response. Just to be 1,000 with y'all. I didn't even think that it was something crazy where like Drake had to run to the studio and give you like a back-to-back, or might even give you like a I'm the plug, or no, I think that was Meek Mill's one, Charged Up. And I feel like that's what Kendrick is doing with this Kendrick is doing with this Drake situation. Same way how when Drake was beefing with Meek Mill, he gave Meek Mill Legos. He gave him the Charged Up. And then when Meek Mill responded, I don't even think Meek Mill responded, he released Back to Back, which just obliterated Meek. Kendrick Lamar is sort of doing the same thing right here, but Drake is just not responding because it's not warranted. And he's saying, Cole, go deal with that. And Cole is aiming for the head. And it gets better, so listen to this. He's still doing shows, but fell off like The Simpsons. Your first shit was classic. Your last shit was tragic. Your second shit put niggas to sleep, but they gassed it. Your third shit was massive, and that was your prime. When he said he's still doing shows, but fell off like The Simpsons, he was referencing Kendrick Lamar's Missed Them Around the Big Steppers tour, which was one of the highest selling tours in hip hop, I don't want to say ever, but in a while. So Kendrick Lamar rarely puts out music, right? And he's also comparing it to Homer Simpson, The Simpsons Show, because The Simpsons have been running for the past 30 years, since at least the 90s, so over 30 years. And despite the show basically falling off because nobody really watches it, they still keep airing new episodes and putting out new shows. And he's comparing that to Kendrick Lamar's music because even though no one's really that tuned into Kendrick because he's just AWOL and doesn't really do anything, he still keeps putting out a music which gives him this false perception that he's not falling off because although people are listening to him, he doesn't really have the pull that he had before. And just being honest, like I said before, he hasn't really had a great album since 2017 with Damn, which basically got him known internationally. They had Be Humble, Damn, Pride, Respect, like Lust. He had so many songs that were like charting and actually just made him known worldwide. And I can't lie, that album, I'm not a big Kendrick fan, but it got heavy radio play and it had hits after hits after hits. I got loyalty and royalty inside my DNA. Like it just had hits. Like I'm not the biggest Kendrick fan, but I can't act like he didn't have greatness going on. But what Cole is saying here is kind of true. He hasn't really had a hit in the past. He hasn't really had a hit album since the past 7 years. But since he has such a cult fan base, which is like similar to how The Simpsons Show was from the 90s of however when it started, people still keep watching. People still keep listening to his music, even though it ain't really the best. Your first shit was classic, but your last shit was tragic. Now, Kendrick Lamar's first album, Good Kid, Mad City, which came out in 2012, was unanimously one of the hottest albums you can say of that year. He was a new upcoming artist, and he really delivered with his songs. He had Poetic Justice, which I actually believe Drake was on, The Art of Peer Pressure, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. And obviously, I'm not a Kendrick Lamar fan, but Money Trees with J-Rock was a fire song, despite it being 6 minutes long. And the album had a lot of hits. But he said your last shit was tragic, talking about Missed Him Around the Big Steppers, because many people felt that he just didn't deliver. The album was cool. It had a couple music videos. He talked about Drake and Kanye feuding, and he thought he wasn't as grown as he thought he was before because he feels like he can make up with people. For a 5-year wait, the album was kind of trash and just wasn't what it was. It wasn't what it should have been after a 5-year wait as a hip hop. Your second shit put niggas to sleep, but they gassed it. Your third shit was massive, and that was your prime. Now, his second album, which I guess many people have a split decision from, is To Pimp A Butterfly in 2015. To be honest with you, I didn't really like that album, but there are a lot of people that did. And Kendrick Lamar, the way he raps is kind of, not want to say quiet, but it's very mellow, very calm, very conscious. And many people were actually going at Drake, or should I say J. Cole, because they felt that Cole, you're the person who has the soft lullaby music. I'm looking at Twitter, people are saying Cole put out another lullaby anthem or lullaby album. This one's gonna put me to sleep. So it's kind of ironic when I see Cole going at Kendrick saying that, but because people are saying that about him, and I'm wondering, I never felt this way about Cole ever, that his music was sleepy, it was lullaby. People are going to talk about how he had Deja Vu, Folding Clothes, but I'm thinking about, bro, he has a bunch of hype songs. He has No Role Models, Wet Dreams, January 28th, 03 Adolescence, A Tale of Two Cities. I never felt that Cole had any music that put people to sleep, but this is a narrative that people are pushing online and I guess heavily believe. But maybe I never listened to the songs that are, very mellow or put you to sleep, because I feel that Cole's always had, I don't want to say the most upbeat music, but his music was never too laid back for me. I feel like I could fall asleep. The only song I can maybe say is Folding in Clothes and the song For Your Eyes Only off the For Your Eyes Only album, where he's talking about his friend dying, raising his friend's daughter, Aaliyah, and that song was 8 minutes long, so that I can maybe see. Cole said your third shit was massive and that was your prime. In 2017, Kendrick Lamar released his Damn album, and if you didn't know Kendrick Lamar on a global scale outside of, let's say, North America, that would be the album that got Kendrick Lamar known Australia, Europe, Jamaica, Ghana, anywhere. He would have been known because he had so much songs getting heavy radio play, it was insane. He had Damn, DNA, Humble, Pride, Respect. A lot of the songs going along that integrity type of lane, All the songs were kind of around the same name. They had DNA, Yeah, Feel, Loyalty, Pride, Humble, Lust, Fear, God, Duckworth. All the names are kind of around the same thing. But regardless, that was Kendrick Lamar's hottest selling first week, I'm pretty sure, and the highest that he's ever had. And that made him known at a heavy scale. And essentially, that was his prime because after 2017, his latest album would have been in 2022. And I don't want to say it's marking the decline of Kendrick Lamar because Kendrick has been rapping for over 12, 13, 14 years. So he has a cult audience. So it's kind of hard to take any of the fans of Cole, Kendrick, Drake because those guys been rapping for almost 15 years, to be honest with you. So they have hardcore fans. But if we're looking at it of a sales perspective or even musically how it sound sonically and the cadence of the songs and how people felt about it lyrically, it wasn't his best work. Just to be frank, it wasn't his best work. So Cole would say, I was trailing right behind you and I just now hit mine. Now I'm in front of the line with a comfortable lead. How ironic. As soon as I got it, now he wants something. Well, you caught me at the perfect time. Jump up and see. Boy, I got here off bars and no controversy. The narrative and the thoughts that everyone has regarding the situation is nobody would be talking about Kendrick Lamar if he didn't diss Drake and J. Cole. And that is a fact. Kendrick Lamar does have hip-hop relevance, but when it comes to your day-to-day life, no one's thinking what's Kendrick Lamar doing today? When is he going on tour? Does he have upcoming music? Unless you're a cult member of the Kendrick stands, I don't even know if they even have a name for their group. No one's really checking for Kendrick Lamar like that. And the only reason why people are talking about him is because he dissed Drake. And the whole persona of Kendrick Lamar and actually J. Cole, they're always like that laid-back rapper who you won't even really see them in public. I mean, you might catch J. Cole riding his bike in New York City or Kendrick Lamar at like a local shop in LA, but you're rarely going to see any of those two out and about how like you might see Drake. So the fact that he's speaking about J. Cole, he's speaking about Drake, that's the only reason why we're talking about him. And honestly, I thought that Kendrick this was pretty weak. If I'm going to give it an honest rating out of 10, I would probably say a 6 out of 10. He said, for all your dogs getting buried, I'm going to bring a K for all these nines. It was very basic wordplay. He talked about for all the dogs, Drake's album, K9s. K9 is another word for dogs, but also talking about K as in a gun, like just gunplay and wordplay. You know, gunplay is always brought up in pretty much every rap song, and that's just how rappers talk about it. That's to show that they're beef. It's like, I can't talk about I'm going to beat you up because I'm rarely see you, so I got to talk about one of my shooters, you know, airing you out and doing something to you, and that's just the nature of hip-hop. And J. Cole strategically going at Kendrick Lamar. He's talking about his albums, how people feel about them, what was a hit, what wasn't, how people perceive him. And what he said about the Grammys is just nailing it on the head because a lot of times you compare rappers, well, he has higher first week sales. Well, he's won more Grammys. Well, he has more billboards. There's always these few metrics which really don't mean anything because Grammys are not a People's Choice Awards. It's run by an academy of rich white folks who really don't listen to hip-hop like that. They all vote. You don't even know who's voting. You can't see their face. You don't know who voted for you to win. And Travis Scott, man, I feel sorry for you because they be doing you dirty. And I ain't got nothing wrong with Killer Mike, but I'm going to just say that. The J. Cole verse said, funny thing about it is, I don't even want the prestige. F the Grammy because them crackers ain't never done nothing for me. Slugs took my nigga soul, and drugs took another one. This rap beef ain't real than the shit I seen in Cumberland. J. Cole is representing the Grammys, which arguably have no value to any hip-hop fans, especially in 2024. Maybe up to 2015. I don't even know, because 2015, was that the year that Macklemore beat Kendrick Lamar and Kendrick Lamar really got robbed? Point is, though, in 2024, the Grammys have no real meaning or it doesn't hold any weight to hip-hop fans. We've seen the best of the best rappers lose the Grammys millions of times. We saw the most unknown upcoming rapper who people didn't even know about win. The Grammys is a sham. No one pays attention to that anymore. So what he would talk about is he thinks you're real. I've seen realer stuff in Cumberland. And Cumberland County is obviously the county that he grew up in, Fayetteville. Basically saying that F the Grammys, I don't care about what the crackers have to give to me because I'm not waiting for like the white man's approval. And taking the Grammys outside of that is kind of a real way to live because a lot of times, just in general, we wait for other people to approve that we're doing good things, we're doing real stuff, our music is good. But like I said before, the Grammys is a People's Choice Academy. It's a recording academy of random people who you can't see voting on your stuff. And it has no value. Drake has said it the past couple of years, and Drake has won how many times? I believe Cole has won probably like 1 or 2 Grammys, and Kendrick Lamar has won like a bunch. So obviously Cole's going to attack Kendrick's Grammys because that's going to be one point that Kendrick Lamar could probably use to say that I'm better than you because I've won more than you. J. Cole would actually take a page out of Nas and Jay-Z's book based off their beef from 2001. Now listen to what he said. He averaged one hard verse like every 30 months or something. If he wasn't dissing, we wouldn't be discussing him. Lord don't make me have to smoke this nigga because I F with him. But push come to shove on this mic, I will humble him. J. Cole is one of the most humble rappers out there. He doesn't diss people. He actually gives a lot of rappers credit. And he gave Kendrick Lamar credit, but Kendrick Lamar being boastful, being in his feelings, went at Cole, and Cole is having no remorse or respect for him, and he's coming at his head. He said if you weren't dissing, we wouldn't mention you, which is a fact. Kendrick, on the lyrical aspect, cool, he's a good rapper. But other than that, we don't really care about Kendrick, and that's just the honest truth about it. He said if I didn't mess with you, I would have smoked you. And to be honest, on this whole track, I still feel like J. Cole gave Kendrick a blie. He didn't really murder him, even though he murdered him. And this actually goes back to the 2013 song by Kendrick Lamar, Control, where he said, I'm Meek Mill, Drake, A$AP Rocky, J. Cole, I love y'all, but I'ma murder y'all niggas. I'ma smoke y'all. And hip-hop is always something competitive, so this isn't anything bad. But Cole has to do it to him. You called me out, you name-dropped me, it's time. It's time. The bar where he said he's averaging one hot verse every 30 months is reference to what Jay-Z said about Nas during their beef on the song Takeover, where he said Nas basically comes out one hot album every 10 years, 4 albums every 10 years, that's like a hot album every decade. And this is at the height of New York beef when they were going at it. So this is very strategic from Cole's perspective because even though I've messed with Nas and Jay, it's kind of funny to see someone take someone's page out of people who went into beef already and just, reincarnate it in his beef with another artist who's obviously a top lyricist just as well. J. Cole quoted this New Jack City meme that we've all seen where he said, I'm Nino with this thing. This, that New Jack City meme. Yeah, I'm aiming at G-Money crying tears before I busted him. Now, we've all seen that meme of Wesley Snipes with tears running down his face. He's holding the gun at someone that he's going to have to kill someone in the movie that he doesn't want to. And that's how Cole feels about Kendrick. Drake, Kendrick, and Cole all came in together around the same 2010s. And they all had a mutual respect for each other. But he's saying, if you're going to diss me, I'm going to have to murder you. And that's just the name of the game. You can't come at me and expect me to go, well, I mean, I guess it's fine because you're coming at my position. I put you in the big three out of respect. And you're saying F me, F the big three. And you dissing me. Even though he was really dissing Drake and Cole caught it straight and subliminal, it's still F you and I'm gonna have to come at you. And that's just the nature of the hip hop game. In verse 2 of the song, he said, I got mixed feelings, but F these rap niggas. It's over for that cap. We officially cap peelers. 2-6, we don't at niggas. We get at niggas. Shoot a nigga lights off. Yeah, my dog stat fillers. Stat stuffers. Triple double. Get your ass blacked up. Body bag, body bag, body bag. Seems like here Cole just has a lot of gun talk going on. Similar to how Kendrick Lamar was talking crazy and like that. Talking about we got K's for all these nines and how Prince outlived Michael Jack, to Drake saying that obviously that even though Michael Jackson was better, Prince lived longer, so he's technically better. It seems that right here in the song, Cole just having a lot of gun talk to combat what Kendrick Lamar said in the first song. So J. Cole actually referenced Nas and J. Cole again, where in this verse he said, I'm hesitant, I love my brother, but I'm not gonna lie. Which is kind of similar to what Nas said in Ether. He said, I love you, my brother, you traded your soul for riches. And then further on the next bar, he said, I'm powered up for real. That shit would feel like a swat in a fly. And what Hope said about Nas is kind of what he's saying right here. 4 albums in 12 years, nigga, I can divide. And what Hope said to Nas is, you have 4 albums every 10 years. That's like one hot album every decade. And Cole releases more music than Kendrick, and they still don't release as much. As you can see though, Cole is definitely way more consistent than Kendrick, and Kendrick Lamar doesn't drop enough, and his last project wasn't really a flop, but it just wasn't the hottest thing ever. Cole will double down on getting vicious and reckless in this verse right here. Shit is, if this is what you want, I'm indulging in violence. Put pictures in my home, ain't the chrome at your eyelids. Fly pebbles at your dome, we the Stone Temple pilots. This is merely a warning shock to back down niggas. Back in the towns where they whipping work and trafficking pounds. My pumpin' jack about a rapper making blasphemous sounds. So he's saying, listen, if you want to get dirty and we got to put people on tees, we got to put pictures up in homes of our deceased relatives, we can get there. Now, I'm not sure if he's calling 50 Cent where he said, I'm going to make niggas back down, because 50 Cent had the song Back Down from his album Get Rich I Tryin', where he just obliterated Ja Rule. And Cole is saying this is a warning shot, which I do believe, because he violated Kendrick way more than Kendrick violated Drake. But I still believe he kept some in the chamber. Like, he didn't go all out. He just said, your first album, that was a shit. Your last one was tragic. Your second one, people gassed it, but it really put niggas to sleep. Cole is definitely giving me like them little... He's getting at you. He's not really violating you, but he's getting at you. But this is a violation compared to what Kendrick put out against Drake and people were hyping up. Because he's attacking his bodies of work. When it comes to rap, when it comes to hip-hop, Your discography means everything. Outside of all the awards, how many places you've been, how many women you've been with. When we look at music and we go on Spotify, Apple Music, we're looking at, wow, this album was amazing. This aged well. This aged over time. And that's something that I could say Drake and Cole have really well for them. I remember every time Drake puts out a new album, like, honestly, never mind. Oh, this is elevator music. But 6 months later, we're like, yo, this album is a classic. When Cole puts out this right now, people are saying, oh, J. Cole makes lullaby music. He gave us another album that's gonna put us to sleep. But I guarantee you, people will be bumping this album in the next couple of years. All of right now, bro, I can't wait till they show the streams for the album in the next week, because it's Friday right now, so next Friday they're gonna have the first week sales, and then they're gonna have the amount of streams that is generated, because it is a diss track. And I don't want to say it's on the back-to-back level, because the back-to-back was vicious, and in my opinion, a top 5 diss track. But it's definitely in the last 4 or 5 years when it comes to diss track in hip-hop, it's a hot diss track. I'll give you that, and that's a fact. The last few bars of the song would say, switching sides like the tassel on the cap and on the gown. I'm fully loaded, nigga. I can drop 2 classics right now. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jared the Star. Thank you guys for watching, and actually make sure that you join my Discord down below.